What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know I haven't put out a video in a while, and I always say that before every video. Today's video is a very special one. I'm gonna be going over why I chose to become a physician assistant over a doctor. Here we go. This is probably the most requested video by anyone that is deciding between PA school and medical school. So I'm gonna be going over some reasons why I chose to become a physician assistant or chose the PA route over the medical school route. I'm gonna be sitting down today just because I feel like I have a lot more information to share with you guys and talk about how I got to this point of wanting to become a PA. I think the biggest thing that drew me to the PA profession is the lateral mobility. And with lateral mobility, I mean the flexibility to switch between different specialties. As a PA, when you graduate from PA school, you graduate as a general practitioner, so you're able to work in whatever specialty that you want. You don't have to go to any additional schooling. You know, there are residencies that you can go into, but it's not required. For medical school, you have to go into a residency that's between 3 to 6 years, depending on the program, to subspecialize. And for me, my personality, some of my close friends might say that I'm a little bit impulsive. When I mean impulsive, I like to try different things. I like to try out a bunch of things and see if I like them or not. Becoming a PA, that kind of fits my personality of, you know, wanting to try out different things and not being stuck in one specialty for the rest of my life. When you talk to PAs, most of them have worked in 2, 3, maybe even 4 specialties. The cool thing about that is I think it allows for longevity. It allows PAs to work in the profession for as long as they can. And I think it definitely lowers the burnout rate. If you're tired of a specialty, you can go into a different one. So it's not necessarily being impulsive, but I consider myself a lifelong learner and I like to get involved in different things. So going the PA route, being able to have that lateral mobility and that flexibility is a huge plus for someone that might want to work in different fields in healthcare. So my second reason why I chose to become a physician assistant over a doctor is the years of schooling. So PA schools are generally 2 to 3 years, depending on the program, and medical school is 4 years plus 3 to 6 years of residency and fellowship on top of that if you want to specialize even more. To become a PA, it's 2 to 3. To become a doctor, it's closer to 7 to 12.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
For me, I definitely want to be out in the working field and making that impact right away. I also want to be independent from my parents a lot earlier. And with PA school, that definitely facilitates not having to take out so many student loans or having to ask my parents to help out. In terms of taking out student loans, in the long run, you're going to be taking out way more if you go to medical school than if you go to PA school. So residency is 3 to 6 years depending on the program for medical school. And again, for PA schools, they do have like 1-year residencies, but they're not required. Something that I like about being a PA is when you start working, you learn on the job and it's essentially kind of like a residency and you get to see what fields you really enjoy, but the salary is a lot higher. It's around $90K as a new graduate, as opposed to residency, which is about $50,000, $55,000 a year in residency, and you're stuck in one specialty. As I reiterate, it's a really cool thing about becoming a PA is you get to choose whatever specialty you want to. That's a huge plus and a huge reason why a lot of pre-health students choose the PA route. If you want to make a lot of money, I recommend not going into either, because although at the end being a doctor is lucrative and PAs get paid pretty well, the struggles and the commitment and the sacrifices you have to make is not worth the end goal. My next thing is title and personality type. For me, I'm okay not being the leader all the time. I've led different organizations and whatnot, but I also like working in a team and I don't necessarily have to be the #1 guy. PA school, you have the option of either being the top dog or working in a team. And when I mean being the top dog, you can work in a rural community and be the only healthcare provider in a 50-mile radius. You're gonna be in charge. Although you have a supervising physician that might not necessarily be on site all the time, you're gonna be in charge and you're gonna be taking care of those people. If you're gonna struggle with the stigma of being a physician assistant and you're gonna struggle with explaining to people what a PA is, you might consider medical school. I'm very motivated and ready to continue advocating for the PA profession and the growth of the profession. Another point is that it really comes down to your experiences. For me, I shadowed PAs, physicians, I worked with nurses, different healthcare professionals. I just had a more positive experience with PAs. And the PAs that I shadowed were very passionate about the PA profession, and the same can't be said for the doctors that I interacted with. with. When someone's very passionate about something, it gets you motivated and inspired, and that's what happened with me. The PAs that I worked with, they're very passionate about the profession, the growth of the profession, and they love what they do. I absorbed some of their positivity and I gained this sense of appreciation for the PA profession and how far it's come. This is subjective to my own experiences, but I felt that the PAs that I interacted with spent more time with their patients than the physicians did, and the PA was able to work more closely with the patients, which I want to do. I highly recommend that you should have both a PA and a physician before you make your decision on whether you want to go to medical school or PA school, and that just gives you a better perspective on what you're looking for in a future career. So my last reason why I chose to become a physician assistant is family. And for me, a top goal of mine, a life goal of mine, is to have a family. I'm single right now, but I do want to start a family young. I think becoming a PA is more conducive to that and helps facilitate that, as opposed to sacrificing family to go to medical school, residency, fellowship to become a doctor. So don't get me wrong, I have the utmost respect for physicians. A lot of my friends are medical school students, applying to medical schools, physicians, so I definitely have the utmost respect for physicians, and I think they definitely sacrifice the most in terms of healthcare professionals outside of work. You really gotta pat them on the back for how much they put into becoming doctors. I wanna also emphasize, if you're not 100% about becoming a physician or a doctor, I don't recommend going to medical school until you're sure. What I mean by that is, once you're in medical school and you find out that you don't like it, if you drop out, that's a tough hole to dig yourself out of. So really be sure, really try to experience all the different healthcare professions and figure out what you're really passionate about. All right, so that is why I chose to become a physician assistant over a doctor. Hope this video was helpful. Please like the video if it was. Subscribe if you haven't. Please comment below if you have any other questions. I'll be sure to answer them. Don't forget to be like my blood type, be positive. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.